income and expense, and basis which the payments will be made. Have you ever seen such? I have seen one. Yeah. So it is a part where they put it in the SOW, because there are times when, say, I have decided to give out 20,000 per month for a particular project to be done for this. If this within this timeline they cover this portion of work, right? But they have additional expenses on it. They're incurring additional cost on it. So where do they take that out from? The company who's doing it for me has additional cost and expenses. So they put it under payment clause, where they say this additional expense, additional cost will be added to the payment, and they will raise an invoice, and on the basis of that, the company will pay it. So this is how this clause is covered. Insurance coverage is not a part of all the agreements. It happens with very, very big companies, okay, who will handle the insurance acquisition, and what penalties will apply if the parties responsible fail to acquire and maintain the agreed upon insurance coverage. I have till date not seen an insurance coverage. Escrow and security, who supplies backup funding and payment. You see, this is again escrow and security. I've only seen while dealing with a very huge amount of transaction, where they say that your operational cost or your operational money should be separate from the other money that is coming in, which may be related to this particular agreement, and it should be put into an escrow account. That is when an escrow comes into operation. Like in the gaming company, they say whatever your operational cost is, put it into one account, and whatever money that you're collecting from the players, you put it into one account, so that the players' money is never held back if you go bankrupt. That is when escrow and security comes in. Requirements and liability, where will the work occur? Who will be responsible for complying with the laws and risk mitigation? These areas are where you specifically, if required, name people. Who is going to be the main project leader whom you can think of, catch off, and speak to? And where will the work occur? Of course, it may be an agreement where you are just not doing it in that particular place. You might be executing in India and the work is happening in Russia, right? So you will have to state that this is the place where this work will happen. That's all very micro points that we are looking into. Of course, we're going to look into the major clauses. Let's move ahead. These are something when you will actually deal and draft an agreement, you will see how these points crop up. These are actually very minute points, which unless and until you actually draft and deal with the client whom with you are doing this contract, these will generally not pop up in the head. Yeah. Key consideration, micro taxes. Who will track taxes and how tax liabilities will be allocated and reconciled? Again, important, but I would say that whoever it written it has understood it or read it well. But when you speak about taxes, I go back to my company and I understand this is so important, because taxes and tax liabilities, who will be allocated, this is something very important. When you're dealing with any particular project, and if there are taxes, when you make a payment, there are taxes to be deducted, there is GST. I'm speaking about from the Indian infrastructure, okay? So who will be allocated to look into it, and who would be reconciling? It will not be the CEO of the company, right? There has to be a particular person who should be named around it, or give it, you can actually draft maybe a table and give under different headers, you can put different person's name. That in terms of taxation, it will be the finance manager. For the project itself, you can be named the project manager. In terms of particular services in that particular agreement, this is the person who's supposed to give you all the reports and the performance idea. So you can create such charts, which I have done, and I have seen it coming from one of the very world's largest actually advertisement company, brand agency, whom we were dealing with. It's the world's one of the best brand agency companies. They also create such charts, and it makes it very easily. See, it's specific, it is project related, and then it leads you to spending less time. That's also the reason that you will find these minute specification only under an MSA. I have not seen it in a general contract, but in MSAs I've seen things get very specific. That's the beauty of a MSA. Third party coverage and concerns. How will action involving a third party be handled? Who will be responsible for addressing the third party issues? Termination, product and project management, employee management. I don't think so. These can be micro. They are actually major clauses. Termination, product and project management, and employee management is again that where I said if a particular person is say if I am a person who's dealing with the data, okay, while I have onboarded Anand as the vendor, I'm a company, and Anand is employing another 4-5 more people of his company to deal with that data that I'm giving them for a particular service. Yeah? So now employee management is the clause where Anand will put all the names of his different employees, as I said, create that chart and put it which person is responsible for which particular area of that activity under that particular statement of work under the master service agreement.